Alright folks, welcome back. We've got DivineDFP playing off against Trakor in round 2 of the Warchief Club 12's main event. So we got an English player in the blue trunks, and a Delhi, I was going to say an Abbasid, a Delhi player in the red trunks. Well, I mean, they both go for the early berries. But Trakor actually gathering a bit of wood right now. So he wants to be able to go for both his house and for a mosque as well. And also be able to afford his lumber camp. So he is just gathering that wood for now, but he was going to probably transfer everything across. Get the mosque on the way. And he's got the wood for both a lumber camp and a gold vein. DivineDFP in the meanwhile, fairly standard English, so he's got 2 on the gold. He's up to 3 on the wood now, but he would have originally started with 2. Sent a villager to go build the mill and sent a villager to build the house. So he's ready to get survival techniques. Too far off, just needs... Oh yeah, he's got the gold now, so he should be queuing that up very shortly. Oh, is he actually going to skip it, perhaps? Oh no, he's going to get it now. A little bit slow on the wheelbarrow, actually. He had the gold there much earlier. But he's an extremely solid player, so no judging, no backseating. The man will flog you. I do like how he's actually sitting on the sheep and delaying the switch to the farms for now. Because I mean, really what you can do is go for a farm basically every 37 wood. So you can always throw down 2 now. Throw down more as time goes on. Because I mean, English just doesn't really have a huge sheep requirement really. Once they switch to that farm eco, that's pretty much it. They don't really need sheep or Trakor. I mean, doesn't really need them as well at this stage because he's going for the berries, and Delhi and Abbasid get a bonus 100 food on each of the berry bushes, and on top of that they'll actually gather an extra 30%. So I think all up it actually ends up being double. So yeah, it's really worth it for Abbasid and Delhi to go on the berries for that reason. Downside is there's no point to you actually contesting war. You can't gather the food from them because it's haram. So, sorry, am I allowed to say that? But yeah, I mean, it's just one of the unique Civ mechanics, is that the berries, you gain 30% more, and then on top of that there's a bonus 100, so overall, I think you do work out to getting basically double. Or it might be 499 or some shit, because of rounding. So Trakor going to harass the gold, Gatherers of Divine, at the moment, who, yeah, has started getting some farms down now. He hasn't committed too many, because this way, he can invest in the wood ecotech, or I mean, sorry, not the wood ecotech, the food ecotech, or another production building, because you'll have the wood there. On top of that, it means he's sort of uninterrupted on the gathering. So that scout did get picked off there by DivineDFP as well. So Trakor, being Delhi, has no cost to any of his upgrades, but they take 3 times as long to get, and that reduces by, I think, roughly 12% per scholar. And then there's sort of some mechanics that you sort of, based off the amount of upgrades you've got in queue, you need more scholars. Like if you've got different buildings for searching different upgrades at the same time. One scholar's enough, but then, you know, you get a third one queuing up upgrades, and you need more scholars, I'm pretty sure is how the mechanic works. So, early outpost here for Trakor. So DivineDFP is going to see that going down. Obviously going to guard both the relic and the sacred site as the game goes forward. Really take control of it, considering it's actually closer to DivineDFP's base. Divine already has an outpost on that gold. Real handy being English because it means, you know, he's actually got an attack speed buff on everything as well. As a unit as enemy units fight under the tower, every allied unit gets every English allied unit gets an attack speed buff. And DivineDFP making full use of the English mill here. He's going to be able to fit a full 10 farms. So you don't have to do this, but it does actually save you a little bit of wood out of the mill for a negligible amount of walk drop-off distance. And you're going to get the benefit anyway because the villagers are all dropping off at the mill. The farm counts. So this council hall going up. So half price scholars, really nice tech, because for Delhi, the scholars, they're monks, are bloody expensive, 150 gold normally, but they actually can capture sacred sites starting in age 2 if you can get this sanctity upgrade in, which particularly because he's getting early scholars, this upgrade's not going to take too much longer for Trakor, and he'll be able to start capturing sacreds. So if Trakor can hold on to the sacred sites, it'll be a nice, really nice gold boon for him. So to put the pressure on the English player to have to invest in military, either in feudal and push out, or go for a quick castle and then also push out behind that. So we're seeing the quick castle instead. There's been no longbows trained at all, no extra production added, no eco upgrades at all, other than that wheelbarrow so far. And I mean, we might see horticulture or double broadaxe soon, but considering he's committing to the third town centre, DivineDFP gonna have to try and screen for these horsemen, which Trakor's adding more and more to. Not too sure what else he's gonna add behind this at this stage, but I mean, he has got 50 stone in the bank, so he's ready to take arrow slits another time somewhere around the map. Oh, DivineDFP actually having the garrison there. Trakor not going to be able to stick around considering the amount of arrow fire, and that the horsemen are only a light unit. They're not really going to be able to stay. But while this is going on, Trakor, nice use of his scholars, going to be able to try and nab all 3 sacred sites in response to the double town centre castle age opening here from the English player. He's going to go for some stables himself. But getting knights, these guys can really stick it to the horsemen. But they are much more expensive, so a scout here threatening one of the scholars, but it's not going to be able to last. So 2 of the sacred sites going down to Trakor. So this will really help offset the added income of the double vil production of the English player, while the Delhi player, what's going on here? He's built a distant mill, then queued up a second mill to build, but it's shift commanded behind the gathering. Whoops. So Sacred Victory on the way. There actually has been an upgrade for increased hunt gathering, because I suppose he is still on the sheep there. He's not actually taken either of his hunts yet, but I think it still does benefit your sheep. And considering it's about half the price of your regular upgrade, well, it's 100 cheaper. So the sacred site going down here. Divine going to be able to try and cap it back. Trakor smartly bringing back all of his scholars to the point he's actually got outposted. So these charge attacks should, and the fact that there's multiple of these horsemen should allow them to actually take this fight. But in saying that, that's a nice spot for DFP. Wedged up against the side of the sacred, he's going to actually be able to pick off one of the horsemen because they won't get a proper surround. And he's going to get out for now. He's going to get charged by one of the horsemen, but it's pretty inconsequential now. There's too many knights out, so I think that went a lot better for DFP than it probably should have, really. It's sort of lucky the knight wedged up against the side of the sacred site, not able to get properly surrounded, and now Trakor getting punished for bringing one of the scholars out, so that'll be 75 gold down the drain for him. But yeah, I just thought it was weird that he's taken... is it hunting dogs in this? No, sorry, survival techniques. It's called hunting dogs in the other games. Sorry, AoEO, AoM player here. Yeah. And I mean, it does affect herds in this game, I do believe, because there's no herdables upgrade. The sacred site being neutralized by DivineDFP, and he's taking a pretty nice fight here. He's managing to pick off all the spearmen first, and as long as he does, he should be able to stick around and tank the horseman. Yeah, he's going to focus down that little spear, but that's a nice pick off by Trakor, making sure he focuses down the knight that's low. Because bearing in mind, you can lose 3 spearmen for every knight, because knights are fucking expensive. What needeth being done? So no horticulture just yet, but he's got stacks on the food there. I mean, I'd probably recommend going for it sort of at this point onwards. And he hasn't got double broad axe yet, but in saying that, DivineDFP is definitely putting the pressure onto Trakor while this is going on, because really forcing up a couple of outposts, going to get a lot of these villager kills as well, which will be nice. Ooh, I think you just got a pair of them. Oh no, 3 of them. But even still, knights not overly threatened by towers until they actually can get the Springald upgrade, and it's a big commitment to make if you do. So even with arrow slits and 5 units garrisoned against a heavy melee unit, particularly the knights, because I think they've got a much larger health pool than even the man-at-arms. You can really just face tank that many arrows. It's not really a problem. So that knight's a little bit low. I mean, not French, so you can't just regen him automatically, but even still. Oh, and even against individual spears, they can really take some nice engages. Because one tanks while the rest kill it. But, ooh, this is a bit rough. So thinking about the value here, guys, I was going to say, if a second knight fell there, that actually wouldn't be worth for DivineDFP. But, I mean, at this stage of the game, he's also got access to monks. So, really handy. Knights can be regened by anyone by now. But with French, it's obviously automatic. It's like autopilot, man. If you've got good micro and good map awareness with French, it's just a laugh playing this game sometimes. I have no idea what they said, but it sounded like "get the fuck out of here" in Old English. Ooh, arrow slit tower here. Should be able to pick off this monk, actually. Yep. That's really nice. So Trakor going to be able to deny Divine easy access to that relic at least. Divine has grabbed one. He's also prevented sacred victory for now, but Trakor, he's going for a sacred side of his own, but Trakor going for the bottom side one in response. Mills sort of denied there. You don't really want to be putting farms around it or going for those berries. Ooh, the madman will though. Is he going to figure it out? No! So DivineDFP might bleed a couple of villagers here before he realizes that this tower is actually arrow slitted. It's not because it's got a horseman or two in it. So Trakor going to get a nice bit of value out of this. Picking off 3 villagers. He's going to pick off a 4th, I think. Yeah, he will. How's that for map awareness? Gold League player, by the way. Ooh. Lance is finding that monk, but another monk able to go and run the baton the rest of the distance. Or maybe not quite. Maybe he's just going to sit here and chill. Knights. Going to overwhelm individual spears here and now, I think. Ooh. A couple of these knights are certainly going to fall, but there's still too much value in this army to just be overwhelmed with such a small number of spears. You sort of need a good 15 of them or so. Backed up with crossbowmen as well, so all the more reason just to worry about getting some more spears, I guess, or getting some of your own crossbows. So Sacred Victory is inbound. Trakor looking to push out, but he's just moving out with such a small number of spears, just running them across the map continually. He really needs to just stack them up. Because right now, he is putting some good pressure on the base of DivineDFP, who's forced to garrison and start taking some upgrades. So he's gotten his melee armor upgrade 1, and he's taking melee armor 2, so he can just keep bouncing off the spearmen like this. And it seems to be working, because Trakor just doesn't seem to be able to actually hit the stable spear count to actually bring down knights. And there's a lot of low knights here, but DivineDFP is just adding a couple more, just adding some more of his crossbows. Oh, but these lances of Trakor have gotten a little bit of value, picking off villagers. That's nice. There's a Springald Tower here to defend them. That might interrupt that plan for now, but DivineDFP snatching back a sacred site. Got a relic in the mosque for Trakor. It's 2 in the monastery for DivineDFP. So all the sacred sites flipping to DivineDFP at the moment. Trakor continuing to get some value out of these raids. I think he realizes though that there's a Springald Tower here, so this should actually make reasonably quick work of the Lancers. It's a pity there's not another one at the top side to really dissuade this sort of engagement. So Trakor's really going to interrupt an awful lot of gathering here. 21 villagers idle and a couple dead for a Lancer. And there's still garrison for now. Oh, Trakor, actually, he's hanging 5 here, but he could actually really cut in here and force a lot of garrison to this outpost, which actually doesn't have the springalding placement. But ooh, a couple of units here of Trakor's, a couple of Lancers running through, getting picked off. A nice converted attempt by the Trakor, but not successful in pinching a couple of knights for free. But these guys just chilling here, like if they go in, they could get a lot of value. They'll probably pick off a villager or 2 there, force the rest of these guys to garrison. But while this is going on, DivineDFP putting good pressure on. Got some knights running through. Yeah, he's got most of his army running through to try and just overwhelm Trakor at this point. And I mean, he is up by about 10 pop. We got 55 and 46 eco. 46 mil and 70 eco and 40 mil. So Trakor's got a reasonably sized army here, especially considering he's got the tower rally. DivineDFP's got a bit of a Vil advantage and using some of those to get this keep up. But these knights, coupled with the crossbows, is proving to be a bit too strong for Trakor at the moment. He's having to back off, and it's really letting DivineDFP solidify. He's not even committing a huge amount of workers to this keep. I think he knows if he just keeps applying the pressure, he might be okay to sneak it up and be able to get all the army mustered up he needs behind this, because while this is going on, he's actually had to garrison quite a bit and lost a little bit to these lancers. So Trakor didn't want to engage there until he'd already taken the fight here, but a bit of annoying harass off once again. Oh, and this outpost isn't finished either. But Trakor down to under 90 pop, DivineDFP just over 100 pop. I mean just over 90 pop. With a pretty scary looking army here. These crossbows are going to get nice engagement on the Vils. The keep being cancelled now. Oh, and that's some good control there from DivineDFP. He's picking off a lot of these horsemen pretty much for free before Trakor's able to take the engagement. So that's a lot of dead lancers, I mean a lot of dead horsemen there for no crossbowmen. And crossbowmen, I mean, they are an upgraded ranged unit in theory over your standard archer unit. They do cost a little bit more. I mean, they cost the same amount as the horsemen, but horsemen are supposed to be a counter to these guys, and they were just being cut through like a hot knife through butter. So DivineDFP finally getting horticulture, but he's had the first 2 wood upgrades in this time as well, which has been great for his eco. But in saying that, most of his gatherers are on food, not wood at the moment, so if anything, he's probably needed horticulture a little earlier. But Trakor having to try and break this hold because DivineDFP is such a good army against him, is what his forces are at the moment. So the Abbasid player, the Delhi player not wanting to lose the Ellie if he loses everything else here. So he's got to be careful to make sure that doesn't happen, but he also needs to keep it close enough that it is still hitting the units. But at the same time, do they only deal light damage? Because it didn't really seem to do a lot of damage to the knights there. And so Trakor's actually been overwhelmed here from DivineDFP, and I think he may have been broken. I think this might be it. He just doesn't seem to have enough. There's a Treb, but that's pretty much it on the field for him. GG. Well played to our players.